Hey everyone, welcome to Chasing Art. It's been a couple weeks. I had a commission I needed to do, so I got that done, and now we're back at this one. So I'll just continue with Grand Hotel up in Mackinac Island, and we'll go from there. I did do a bit here. Let me show you the reference. There's a reference I'm working on, and I'm going to be working on the left side underneath that dome section. And here's where I'm at right now. Got the top section pretty well sketched in, and that's kind of where I'm going to stop with that for right now. I'll come back through and go back over everything once more once I'm done, but I'm gonna be working on, say, this section right here tonight, and we'll just go until I don't feel like going anymore, and we'll go from there. So let's get at it here. Make sure I'm centered up in there. I think I got a chat box in here. If anybody wants to say something, that'd be great, so I could see if it's actually working or not. I don't know if it is. This is the second or third time I've started this stream tonight, so I don't know if I need to change those or not. So, but anyway, I do have chat up on another monitor, but it should come through that little black box in the bottom. And we'll see how it works. Anyway, and that's going to be a thing. I changed the lens on my camera, hoping to get a little bit better, a little bit clearer picture on it. And I think it is a little bit, but it's got to be a lot higher. And I'm afraid, yep, like right there, I'm getting my hat in the way. So it's going to be a struggle there, but we'll get through it. So you see the section that I'm working on. I've got the reference there on the left-hand side. And that's what I'm going to work on. I don't see any chats yet. Oh well. Let's get at it. Let me move my mic a little bit here. And I did start a little bit right in here, but it wasn't much. I need to pull my reference up elsewhere too. Maybe right there. Let's minimize it and I'll shove it up over here. Alright, that'll work. Oh, I'm going over top of... Yeah, I don't see no chats yet, so... Oh, hey, I do see some chats up there, but I'm not getting them in the box down here, so maybe I just shut that off for now, huh? How do I shut that off? Oh, it's locking it. There, I'll just shut that off for right now. All right, let's get at this. What pencil have I got here? I don't want a 2H, I want to start with a 4H. Shoot, what was I just going to say? The commission I just got done doing, that one, I just sharpened all my pencils, so it might take a minute for everything to wear down and start blending in good, I guess. Sometimes that's an issue. Not sure how everybody's weekend's going. Anybody got anything good going on this weekend? Start, at least this end right here is very deep in shadow up in this area, so it's going to take a minute to get this worked in, I think. Yep, my hat's getting right in the way too. I might have to look into a different different lens. I haven't mentioned that to anybody yet, but it's possible I need to look into a different lens. Something that I want it to focus good, but like I have to have this one so damn high. I want to be able to lower it down a little bit, but yet have it a little bit wider. I know what I want. I'm just not sure how to describe it yet. Yeah, it's been kind of misty out there, hasn't it? Here we got these little globes that hang down, so we got to get those. We're going to have to get the hanger in on them too. Maybe I come back and put that in after that's all filled in. Sorry if it, I know sometimes I look up, I'm looking through my bifocals there at the bottom, so it looks kind of stupid sometimes when I'm doing that, but that's kind of what I got to do to see. Yeah, soon enough the weather will shape up. I did break out a new blending stump, so this one isn't as dirty looking. I did not use that blending stump. I did not use it at all on the commission I just did. Something about it just screamed for actual pencil work. We did not finish watching Banshee, Dark Veritros. I think we started it, and that was about as far as we got with it. We started actually watching. We've been watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms. This has been an awesome show. If anybody likes Game of Thrones or anything, it rivals right up there. It's a Game of Thrones spinoff. This has been a great show for them to follow this up with. I've really been enjoying it. I was a big fan of Game of Thrones from day one. I started watching it when it first came out. I started watching Game of Thrones, and I've just always been a real big fan of that show. And so any spinoff or anything, I've always watched all of that. Um, what's the other one that's on right now? Shit, why can't I remember the name of it? Something Dragon. House of the Dragon. Been a pretty good one, but I'm kind of thinking that I'm like a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms even better. Got a little bit of an overhang here that I'm kind of missing, so I need to get that kind of put back in a little bit. Kind of round these ends off a little bit. There we go. No, we did not watch any more of that yet. It's still up on there. We just haven't went back to it yet. We've been watching, like I said, we've been watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and actually started watching The Walking Dead again. I've been a big fan of that one for a long time too. So where are we at? Let's see. My reference. Maybe we'll work it to maybe this point. We'll see if we can get this section here maybe done tonight. They were very House of the Dragons and Game of Thrones season 8. Season 8 was very disappointing. House of the Dragons has actually not been bad. It started out kind of lame, honestly. Like the first episode or two, I really wasn't buying into it too much. I ended up getting sucked into the story pretty good, but yeah, when it first started, I was not really enjoying it. I wasn't a big fan of it. The more I watched, the more I am all right with it. I think that's it's kind of built, it's kind of been building itself up to where it's, there's a lot more fantasy in that one. The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, that's been more, I guess I would almost call it more wholesome, honestly. Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on in it, but it's been, it's not this big wide open world that you're trying to remember the name of all the seven kingdoms and this and that. No, it's just taking place just in one little place, and it's just like a medieval tourney that it's taking place in, and it's been kind of refreshing because you don't have to start remembering just a shit ton of names or anything like that. It's been pretty good. Yeah, season 8 wasn't bad, but it was very rushed. Where am I at here? I need to zoom in a bit on my reference, I think. There we go. Now I can see where I'm working. It does get darker back in there, so let's maybe do this. Yeah, we could talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. It don't have to be about art. I'm trying to stay back and keep my head out of the way, but man, I want to get in there and check that point out right there just to see what I've got going on. I know it looks like I have. Man, what is that? It looks like right here, it looks like there's two columns. I think I'm going to draw this as one. It looks like there's two columns right next to it as well. And then looks like a single one and then a double again. I'm just going to draw those as singles, I think. Spin this a little bit so I got a better angle. What do we got? Okay, that sticks out into, actually this is a little bit wider than that, so it's going to come out to about here. Let's get this one in while we're at it. And we'll get the rest of these edges put in while we're at this. Oh, you should absolutely start your own art channel. I'd watch it. It's a little unnerving. I am not used to. If you can't tell, I am not used to speaking live or speaking to a lot of people. I'm kind of a You probably call me an introvert, but I do enjoy doing this. But boy, it nerves me up leading up to it. I intended to be back on here last week, but it was Valentine's and all, so we had stuff to do. Plus, you know, I was nerved up, so I found any excuse I possibly could to not get on here. Kind of, I just need to do it and do it and do it. Well, let's see. Looks like we got windows up in here. We do. What have I got going on right there? Okay, it's like a balcony right here. The door right next to it. A lot of these, I'm just gonna get some shapes in there. They may not actually evolve into a whole lot because they are down and out of the way, and plus they're in the kind of a dark area, so they may or may not get totally rendered. Here, I gotta get a. Looks like there's a railing here. It comes across. That for now. I am not reading that chat. Yeah, screw it. Yeah, it's kind of nice when you can just go take a dump and keep watching, huh? I don't feel like this one's very straight for some reason. What do we got going on underneath there? Not a lot. But this is all darkened, so just slightly. Since I have the rough shapes in there, let's put a little drop shadow underneath this balcony. Looks like I see one there in the reference, so there I go mumbling again. I gotta quit mumbling. I think that's part of what I need to quit doing is quit fucking mumbling. There we go. I'm okay with what we got going on here. I'm just going to overall darken the whole thing up. I'm going to come over and do this one. Got a little bit of a cast shadow. I got a little bit of a shadow there. I'm going to put a little bit of shadow on here. I need to get up there and do that, the top of these yet, but let's see. Well, this has got a, what do they call them up there? I don't know. It's the end of the column. I'm not sure. I can't remember what they do call those. Let's go ahead and put these in while we're right here. We're going to simplify those just a little bit. Kind of a 3-step thing, but I think I'm going to simplify those just a little bit. We get our corner, it comes down. Crossed. I'm keeping the paper towel under my hand just so I don't smudge this too much. Because I will do that. The phone in the bathroom thing is probably the best thing that has ever happened, period. I used to always have stacks of magazines in the bathroom, but when I didn't have them, I would always read shampoo bottles, all that kind of thing. I'm very glad we have phones now that we can take to the bathroom. As a matter of fact, I was having problems with getting the stream working, and all of a sudden I did need to run to the bathroom. So when I did, I looked up, hey, how do I get this stream to work? And by the time I came back, I had the stream working. So there's all sorts of benefits to it. That's actually, you want to know a funny thing is that's kind of how I got into art, because I used to always have car magazines next to the toilet in the bathroom. And those would be what I would look at while I was going to the bathroom. And I started looking at there were a lot of older magazines, a lot of 80s, 90s, early 2000s with the flashy paint jobs on the cars and all that. And that's how I kind of got sucked into airbrushing, which is what led me to where I'm at today. So I don't have anything bad to say about bathroom materials. Yeah, this convo's kind of went a little bit off the rails, hasn't it? It's all right. I don't care. We can talk about whatever. Keeps it interesting, right? What do I got here? I got windows. I do have another balcony right here that I didn't put in. So let's see if we can get this. Let's see, there's one. We'll bring it right here. Looks like it comes to about here. Drop. There I am mumbling again. Comes back. This is so far away that it's okay to just get just the hint of a balcony back there. As much as I do like the details, this is like trying to draw on the head of a dime or something. I'm trying not to get a whole lot into this globe right now because I'm going to come back and I'm going to have to put some shape into that as I go through this. Leave a highlight on one side. I need to erase a little bit of that. All right. I think I lost the shape of it. We'll leave that right there for now. Let's get that hanger in though. There. There, that'll work for now. I wasn't bored in there whatsoever. Don't need any. You may not need anything to entertain you, but I always have needed something to entertain me while I'm in there. That is just the way it goes. Again, we've got a little bit of a balcony here. How's the focus? Does the focus look okay? I'm not sure if I can get it much better than what it is right now, but I was told on the last stream, as I was saying goodbye, I shut this off, so I'm going to try to let that go for, well, probably an extra. It looked like I had an 11-second gap, so I'm probably going to give it like an 11-second gap before I actually shut the stream off this time, and we'll see how that works out this time. Okay, that right there, that mark is the underside of that balcony. Why I've got to jut it out into it, I have no idea, but let's take that out. We'll take that right out of there. I almost used my finger. There we go. All right, let's bring that. There we go. There's that balcony. And let's darken this up. It's definitely darker at the top. A little bit lighter down here. I'm going to take my 2H and darken, just bring this edge up a little bit. We'll start with doing it on these three here. Just get down a little bit of graphite and then I'll come back with my blending stump and work that in, I think. All right, thank you, Jennifer. It's on my screen. It does not look great, but that's about the best I can get it. 2H. There we go. I was just kind of looking to give that just a little bit more shape along there. Uh, 4H. Like with a 4H. There we go. Got a building right here. That does have a very dark line along that side. I'm not sure if you can see it on the screen, but there's a very light line right here. That's actually going to be the end of my drawing. It's probably, it's right about there. So this right here will probably all end up getting erased if I go over that line, but that's okay. I want this as close to a 8 by 10 as I can get it. And that's kind of how I do it. Yeah, shapes just kind of fall into place when you get them just right, don't they? Using the stump here to kind of push that back a little bit. I want to bring these columns out a little. There we go. There. We're sneaking up on this right here. This right here is actually a flag in this area. Oh, you can see it on screen, but I did change the shape of it. I tried to mimic one that was next to it, so I'm going to try to double up on that. So that flag that's in the reference is not going to be the same one that I end up drawing. Actually, while I'm at it, I think I need to kick some of this out of here. There, we'll go with that. Now, what do I have down in here? Looks to me like this section here, this pillar sits on like a concrete block. Let's get that. That's not very, it's just kind of plain. It's kind of a monotone color, or monotone value. So we'll just go over it and rub it a little bit. Just like that. We'll bring the rest of the shading down to it. Let's work this out a little bit. So we got this one. This one looks to me like this one should be about here. That's coming down behind. That'll be behind the flag. So let's bring this one down a little bit. Maybe down to about there. It looks like it should line up about right with the one next to it. And this one will go such as that. This angled here. So that means this has got to come down. Well, I'm just not on top of this one at all, am I? There we go, kind of like that. Then we'll bring this down, work the shading over. It's got a little bit of a lip around it, so we can make that just a little bit darker before we, kind of like this one. That one. Front side is lighter than the side of it. Stab this off just a little bit. There we go. You know, there's a lot of stories about the Grand Hotel being haunted, but I couldn't say for sure, one way or another. It's kind of fun to think about. I know there's been a movie made up there. It's actually Christopher Reeves was in it. It's called Somewhere in Time. I'm not sure if that was from the 70s, 80s. I'm not sure what year that movie was made. I'm thinking it was late 70s, but I could be wrong. But I know there's been a lot of talk about the Grand Hotel being haunted. I just don't know. Like I say, it's fun to think about. Gives one something to contemplate. What about you? Anybody else out there think maybe it might be haunted? Anybody believe in ghosts, actually? I'm kind of back and forth on that personally. My outlook on it's kind of like on the X Files when Mulder had the poster up behind his desk that said "I want to believe." It's kind of where I'm at with it. It just hasn't been proven to me yet. I'd like to believe. All right, we got a little bit of texture on that roof right there. It's not a lot. We can try to get something in. I've only got just this little corner right here to work on, so and it's very minimal. I actually think I'm just going to use the graphite that's on my blending stump and try to rub some in. Run this with the direction that the roofing is going. Just to try to give it a little something something. There, that's about a little bit of something something right there. I think that's about as far as we're probably going to go with that. As I pick up my blending stump to go back and tap it just a little bit more. There we go. So working down this side. Looks like there's a... And them are big old supports right there. And that's right about in there. If not ghosts, what about aliens? You know what? I probably believe more in aliens than I do in ghosts. Just as big as the universe is, you cannot tell me there's not something else out there. Very lightly with that. Just trying to get a little bit of color on the side. The side is just a touch lighter. Definitely not that light. There we go. That's probably enough detail for that right there. Where's my line? My line is here. Let's go ahead and put some of this in. Oh wow, that comes all the way back over to here. Looks like I missed that line when I was transferring my image. Notice I missed a few different lines as I was transferring my image. What do we got? What is this line? Okay, that's the underside of it. So let's just bring that straight. That goes here. Like that. And we'll just darken this area up right here. That's the overhang. You know, and this one, the inside, this side is very dark. We'll leave a little bit of highlight there just to kind of give it a little bit of separation. And this side right here is lighter. All right, what do I got going on here? It looks like it looks like a patio umbrella or something, but here, let's just, I'm really not going to make this anything. I'm just going to just kind of give it a reference shape. Maybe something like that. My drawing is actually here, so image to transfer an image. Boy, it could take anywhere from 2 minutes to a couple hours. Honestly, it depends on the amount of detail, the amount of information you want to transfer. There's a lot of variables there. All right, looks like we just have some bushes here. So I'm just going to put in the reference or the what's the word I'm looking for? Just just enough information to give the idea of foliage down there. There's bright and there's dark. Actually, I think I'm going to bounce back and forth between my 4H and my 2H. I know these reference lines are for darker areas. I'm with my 2H right now. Looks like we got some bars of some sort here. Let's get these in here. That'll work. Back to my 4H. What have we got here? It looks like they just go right down. My bottom line is going to be right here. So I need to work these down into this area. Oh, got my hat in my way. Well, not so much in my way, but definitely in yours. I'm not going to go a whole lot more. I'm not going to go a whole lot further than this right now because I need to come back up and work on this area. So I don't want to come back up over top of this type of thing. Take the chance of smudging it some more. What do we have? It looks like there's all along that there's looks like there's flowers all along the top of that, but there's no detail in them. They're just very dark. I think what I'll do is I'll go in with my 2H and just kind of give the indication of vegetation there. Some sort. That's as far as I'm going to go with that right now. I want to get some other things in here yet. So coming back up into here. Definitely have a couple windows, another balcony. We have that flag right there. Let's work on that flag. Trying to mimic the one that's next to it. Let's take them lines out. In a sense, I'm trying to mimic that one. Looks like that kind of leans out a little bit here. Then we have, get the stripes in. How many stripes before the bottom? 1, 2, 3, 1. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to color in the blue, and then I'm going to come in and just with my eraser just tap out the stars or at least the indication of the stars. Maybe not that one. It's my electric eraser. Oh, I know where it's at. Man, even that's not small enough to really get that in as detailed as I'd like it to be. There we go. And these kind of fold around as it goes. And this will be the smallest flag. I think they'll get a little bit larger as they go across, but I think I'm going to stop there with that one. I think I'm all right with that one. I think I'm happy with that one. Happy-ish. Happy for now. How about that? Is it better to draw the flag since it's in front of the pillar? Draw it first for that section. Yes, because I kind of wanted to get that in because then I could just draw back. I could have done it from back forward, but I decided to go the opposite way with that. Honestly, a lot of times I don't have a lot of rhyme or reason to how I do these. It's just how it hits me in the moment. And yet another balcony. And that flag topper comes up to that area. So let's finish off the top of this pole. Just put a little round knob on top of it. And I will probably come back and doctor this up a little bit too. But there, now I know exactly where that flag is. And now I can just push everything else back. What pencil have I got? 2H. I want 4H. Here's our balcony. It was very dark underneath it. I gotta keep checking to make sure I'm still on screen. There's the indication of a window in here. So I'll do that number just to give it a little bit of noise in there. And then knock it back with the 4H. I should have recorded my process of doing the commission I just did. It's a dog with a car behind him. I did not record it. It might have been a good one to post as a video, but being it's a commission, I feel kind of weird about that, so I decided not to. I don't know. What do y'all think? Is that something that I should do if it's a commission? Should you make a video out of it? Or at that point, does it become the person that commissioned you? Is that their only piece? You know, that's just theirs. That's not something you share with someone else. What? Anybody got any ideas on that? I'm really not sure which way to go with that one. I have conflicting thoughts on it. Would have been good advertising as well as showing your commitment to commissions. It's very common to record commissions. One is shows the time and if informative the commission, and two shows the process and legitimate. Well, you got a point there. It would legitimize it. It is true. It's a solid point. Bring this column down. What have I got? 2H. I'm going to darken this edge up kind of significantly, just to separate it from that background. Well, okay, maybe if you look at it that way, maybe that's not a bad idea to look at it that way. If I if I do a commission, say if I do a commission, and I do make a video out of it, but don't post it until after the person has it. I think that might be the way to go. That way there's no accidentally running across, the owner of it wouldn't, the person doing the commissioning, or, if they're having it done for somebody else, somebody's not going to accidentally run across it on here. With my 40 subscribers I have, which I'm happy for, but the chances are of them running across is probably slim, but still you never know. So maybe that's the way to go. Maybe I do record them and just put them out after it's been delivered. What do you think about that? Well, that's true. You can still do that. Last week I made a video off of my live stream, and I don't think I'll do that this week. Maybe if I come back to this, maybe I will. Yeah, exactly. If I come back to this tomorrow, maybe I'll just live stream tomorrow while I work on it some more. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I'm not sure what I have going on at this point. I need to get this done, and I need to do one more for Mackinac Island, and possibly at that point, maybe it's possible I might, after that, go back to either watercolor or acrylics. I'm kind of leaning towards going back to watercolor. I've really been enjoying doing the graphite, but it's starting to wear on me a little bit, honestly. I still like doing them, don't get me wrong, but I do miss color. Four rules of commission work. Okay, now always have the verification process. Now, what I do have is a series of photos I've taken every day. Always receive payment. Yep. Lost my line on this. Okay, I got a flag right here. This line comes down. Let's see. Yeah, I only see two, or I only see all three also. All right, guys, I need to stop right there. We talked about this earlier, but I need to stop right there. So, thanks for showing up. I'm gonna hop off here real quick, and if I decide to hop on tomorrow, I'll. If you got the little bell hit or whatever, then it'll probably let you know. I appreciate everybody that showed up, and thank you very much for coming. And I will see you all later.